So this section, we're going to back up a little bit. I want to kind of give a little bit of context to the screen recordings that you're going to see in the next couple sections. Okay, there's a bunch of supporting material that you've seen down within your course. It's all about kind of explaining what display is in a more granular level, more details about kind of the effectiveness and the value of it. So first of all, what this next section is going to be the display versus search, and where do you see it? Okay. Obviously display, I'm going to kind of show you some sites within the screen recordings, that where your display ads can show up, but also the different networks where they can show up, so you can understand where your text versus display, image ads versus video ads are going to show up. Okay. Now there's even some shopping ads that are able to actually go across display, which shopping we're going to cover in another method on how to set that up and get a little bit more detail with that. But to start off, right, I just want to compare display advertising versus search. The main benefit to display advertising versus search, we obviously know that search is your bottom funnel king, right? It's basically where you're going to go to find your product before you're able to sell. But again, there's a couple different phases that happen before that where display is king of getting in contact with people. Again, I talked about the reach in the previous video, where it's 90% of the internet is covered by the display network, and honestly it's growing at an exponential rate. Millions and millions of sites are added every single month and week because of the Google AdSense program, where they actually pay advertisers to show ads on their web pages. And display advertising is also going to give you a little bit greater reach and a little bit more defined metrics and settings, where you can get really, really granular with targeting your customers, even on devices, cell phones, iPads, according to their demographic, male, female, even according to their income, those kind of granular details that, if you sell a product that costs $100,000, you don't want to sell it to somebody that only makes $25,000 a year. So in order to generate that top of funnel awareness, it's going to give you really the basically laser focused approach, where you can target the people that are actually in your market rather than wasting dollars and ad spend, and again, decreasing your conversion rate, increasing your CPA costs. Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and cover the platforms where display is showing up, and some of the ad strategy differences where, the text ads on display are going to be a lot different than the ones we're talking about on search, especially whenever you're talking about your image ads and your video ads. They're going to be the context, even in some of the verbiage you're going to use within those ad and descriptions, is going to be a little bit higher level, where it's going to be more in the research phase and understanding and exposing some of the value props of your particular product or service. Now, the display ads that are available are image, text, video, and the shopping has been able to come out with some really, really cool shopping ads as well that are very dynamic according to the site they're showing up and the products they've already viewed. So those are some of the things that we're going to cover within this section. Additionally, I'm going to go into quality score. We touched on it in the first section, right, and how you can manipulate it, and it's much clearer on search than it is on display. But I can tell you one thing, and how to manipulate it is quality CTR. Okay, CTR is click-through rate. It means if your ad shows up, somebody clicks on it, in a reasonable period of time. If it shows up 10 times and somebody clicks on it 1, then I've got, a 10% CTR. If I show it 100 times, they click on it 1 time, I've got a 1% CTR. You're going to show lower click-through rates on display, but the higher you can click through those up, it's going to reflect the quality of your content. So that's really the main way you can manipulate it. YouTube also has an active display quality score. Again, the easiest way for you to manipulate these, I'm going to kind of teach you how to produce content, produce videos, and produce messaging to improve that click-through rate, because unfortunately, unlike search, display and YouTube don't display those quality scores. So it's much more about the quality of the content that we're producing out there. So go ahead and review some of these screen recordings that we have in here. By all means, if you have some questions, re-review them, because re-reviewing the material is going to reinforce that content and some of the points that we're making in there. So go ahead and dive into these screen recordings that we've included in this module, and then I'll see you on the next one after you've completed it and fully digested all the material.